Today we are going to do Beginner's Yoga 2. It's our second yoga sequence. The main thing I want you to know about today is that, and for any sequence to do, if it hurts, don't do it. There's always a modification for anything we do. So make sure you listen to your body. If you hurt, don't do that pose. You can email me later or call me and ask for modifications for a certain pose. So, for instance, if your knee hurts and we're on our knees in a lunge like this, you can double up your mat or use a blanket under your knees so your knee doesn't hurt if you have knee trouble. Other injuries that you need to look for are your wrist injuries and your lower back injuries. Wrist injuries, that's because you're collapsing into your wrist and putting more weight on the heel of your hand instead of pressing into the fingers. So press in, spread those fingers wide when we're doing arm supports, and you should be able to see the webbing in your fingers. Press into those knuckles so you're getting that kind of lifted effect here in the palm. So you're pressing with equal amount of pressure on your fingers as you are the heel of your hand, so you're not collapsing in your wrist. And when we are in a plank pose, so you're not collapsing in your back. That's where a lot of people get injuries in their lower back here. So when you are, even when you're on your knees in a plank, people collapse in the back. So make sure you're keeping a long line from the crown of your head to your tailbone in whatever pose we're doing. So you're not collapsing in your back and you're not collapsing in your wrist. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to sit on a bolster. This is a bolster. You can use a pillow. And we're just going to sit in easy pose. Go ahead and sit. Head over heart over pelvis. Go ahead, head over heart over pelvis. Take those shoulders up to your ears, roll them back, making sure they're down away from your ears. And just shut down your eyes. Hands can fall wherever they may fall. They can be on your knees, they can be in your lap, what feels more comfortable for you. And let's just close our eyes here. Set your intention for today's practice. And it might be just to let go. Whatever happened before class, let it go. Whatever is going to happen after, let it go. And that can be your mantra today throughout the practice. If your mind begins to wander, either bring it back to your breath or to your mantra, let it go. And just get into your breathing. Just go ahead and make sure you're taking a full deep breath, ballooning out your stomach on the inhale, and on the exhale, deflating that balloon. Long inhales, and then long exhales. Let's just stay here for a bit, relaxing with your breath. Your mind begins to wander. Bring it back to your breath. And keeping your eyes closed, let's do a body scan. Relax your shoulders down and envision a space between each vertebrae. Maybe lengthen through your crown. Notice the sound of your breath. Notice the inside of your body where you're holding any tension. And then soften them wherever you feel tightness. It may be your neck, it may be your shoulders, or your legs. And soften that area. Now notice the physical parts of your body. Maybe you're leaning forward. Maybe you're leaning back. Maybe you're crouched over. Listen to your body. Head over heart over pelvis. Now notice the audible breath. Listen to the sound of your breath. See if you can connect the end of the inhale to the beginning of the exhale. Like the ocean receding and coming back to shore. Welcome your inner calm and natural state of peace. Giving ourselves this opportunity to practice doing absolutely nothing. When your mind wanders, bring it back to your breath or your mantra, let it go. We'll stay here for a few minutes. Slightly open your eyes now, and let's get into child's pose, extended child's pose. So I'm going to move, if you have a bolster or a pillow, move it out of the way, and let's get into extended child's pose. Child's pose can be knees together, sitting back on your heels, or your knees apart as wide as the mat, big toes touching. So get into your version of child's pose. Extend those fingers out long in front of you, those arms, hollowing out the armpits there, really reaching those fingers forward, stretching, opening up that chest. Maybe massaging that forehead. Let's walk those hands to the left. Feeling the stretch in your right. Breathe under your right arm. Maybe even placing that right hand on top of your left hand. And then walking those hands back to center and over to the right. Placing that left hand on top of your right if you wish. Breathe under your left arm. Really stretching that left side. Good, and coming back to the center. Really pull those fingers forward towards the top of your mat. Spread those fingers wide. And then slide those hands down and around for just child's pose here. Let's take 2 cleansing breaths here. Inhale through your nose. And exhale through your mouth. Inhale through your nose. And exhale through your mouth. Great. Now, bringing your hands back up to the front. Take that right hand, thread the needle in child's pose. Taking that right hand under your left arm. Pull that left arm to the top of the mat. Good. Right ear and right cheek are on the mat. Really stretching that right shoulder. Bringing that right hand out to the top, left hand under, pull those fingers towards the wall. Left ear and cheek are on the mat. Really stretching that left shoulder here. Bringing that left hand back and walking those hands up, bringing those knees in line with your hips for puppy pose. The hips right over the knees. You can bring your forehead to the mat, or if you want a deeper stretch, chin to the mat for puppy pose. Whichever one feels good to you, and your shoulders and your chest here. Breathe into that stretch. Good. And then come raise up on your elbows. Pull those knees back into Sphinx pose. So Sphinx pose, the elbow is right under your shoulder. So you're not like this. Make a right angle there. Spread those fingers wide. Pull those pinky toes down, lifting those kneecaps into Sphinx pose. So we're not like this with our shoulders and our ears. Press away from the mat. It is a back bend here. Pull those pinky toes to the mat. Good. Good. And lower back down. Tip those fingers on the outside of the mat for wide arm cobra. Inhale, come up into cobra. Exhale, forehead to mat. Inhale, wide arm cobra. Exhale, forehead to mat. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, forehead to mat. Good. Extend those arms straight out in front of you. Zip those legs up together, touching now for locust. Inhale, lift up those chest and arms and legs. Hold it here. Not your breath. Just hold that. And lower back down. Good. This time lift your right arm and left leg up. Inhale into half locust. Hold it here, but not your breath. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, other side, left arm, right leg. Holding this pose here, but not your breath. Good, and lower back down. Come up, place your hands right under your shoulders. Press up, don't collapse on your back. Sit back into child's pose. Good. Raising back up, knees right under your hips, coming up into a kneeling pose. So we're going to take the left arm up into half camel, right arm towards your heel for a back bend here, a camel, opening up that neck and that throat. So if your hand does not touch here, you can always use a block or just place your hands at your lower back. And coming back up. Now extend that right hand out. Again, modification. Placing your fingers on your low back or touching your heel. You always have the option to tuck your toes too, to bring those heels up closer to you. And coming back up. So you can do the full version of camel or modified. Modified version is just doing this with your hands. You can do fingers down, you can do fingers up. You can tuck your toes and grab your heels. Or you can lower it for the full version. You're trying to keep your hips forward right over your knees, so you don't want to be leaning back. Tucking your heels, touching your heels. opening up your neck and chest. And coming back up. Good. Walking your hands back down into tabletop. Swing that left foot around with your knees on the ground. That left hand right under your shoulder. Right foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Right arm is up for modified side lunge here. You can bring your hand straight towards the ceiling. If you want to open up your chest, bring it over in line with your ear, bicep by your ear. One long line from your fingers to your heel. Belly button to your spine. And then bring it back down. Slide your right knee on the ground. Swing that foot around. Left foot parallel to the back of the mat. Right hand right under your shoulder. Left hand to the sky for modified side plank. Again, to open up that chest, bring that arm over by your ear, bicep by your ear. One long line from your fingers to your heel here. Good, and bring it back down into tabletop. And let's do some cat-cows. Inhale, cow, drop that belly, looking up. Exhale, cat, rounding that back, tucking that pelvis. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Good. Taking that right ear to right hip. Gazes over your right shoulder. Come up on the inhale. Exhale, left ear to left hip. Coming up on the inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Great. Coming back into tabletop. Remember, in tabletop, spread those fingers wide. You should be able to see the webbing of your fingers. And let's bring our right foot to the outside of our right hand. Heel is up there by your fingers. Toes off the mat. Pull the left knee back to give yourself a little bit more swaying and stretch in your groin. So pulsing or swaying feels good in this pose. If you want your blocks or bolster or pillow or backpack, get that to help bring the ground closer to you. Breathe into that stretch. Always like to pulse and sway, just to give it a little movement to it. If you have your blocks, move them back. Take that right foot back. Now take that left foot, heel up by your fingers, toes off the mat. Lizard pose, pull that knee back and toes to the back of the mat. Pulsing or swaying here. Good. Feels so good. All right, bring that left foot back into tabletop. Really press into those fingers so you're not collapsing into that wrist. Tuck those toes. Push back into your first down dog today. So you can stay still, just find stillness, or you can pedal it out and make some movement if that feels good to your calves. It is up to you, whatever feels good. That's my motto. If it feels good, do it. If it does not feel good, don't do it. Alignment is very important in yoga. So when you need to align, we stack the joints from the ground up. So we'll show you that in just a little bit. Gaze to the top of your mat. Walk to your hands. Stay forward folded into ragdoll. Heel to those feet out a little bit wide. Grab those opposite elbows. Bend the knees generously. You want that belly and thigh connection here. So it doesn't matter if you're bent all the way like this, that's fine. Get that connection, swaying, shaking that head yes and no, letting that oxygenated blood flow to your head. Maybe even pedal it out here, getting a little hamstring stretch. And release that bind, place those hands on your hips. Slowly rise up one vertebrae at a time. Heel toe those feet in. So we're going into mountain pose. Palms are forward like this. Shoulders are down away from your ears. So this is mountain. Extended mountain, you're bringing your hands up towards the sky and your gaze follows your fingers. Exhale, hands to heart center. And we'll just do that a few times. Inhale, bring those hands up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, bring those hands up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. Inhale, bring those hands up to the sky. This time, we're going to go into chair pose, sitting back on your heels into chair pose. You should still be able to see your toes in this position. Your weight are in your heels. Your biceps are by your ears. If that hurts your shoulders, bring your hands in front of you here. All right, holding this here, belly button to your spine. Good. Inhale, extend the mountain high. Exhale, back to chair, twist. Pulling those fingers to opposite sides of the wall. Inhale, extend that mountain. Exhale, twist. Try to keep both hip points to the front. Working on your range of motion here. Inhale, extend that mountain. Exhale, twist. Inhale, extend that mountain. Exhale, twist. Good. Inhale, extend that mountain. Exhale, forward fold. So you're just forward folded over. There's a slight bend in your knees here. Inhale, half lift. So a half lift, your hands can be on your thighs, your shins, or if you're real flexible, down here on your mat or blocks. You want to straight back from the crown of your head to your tailbone. So half lift is a straight back. Holding this here, belly button to your spine. Really contracting that belly, abdominal muscle there. Exhale, forward fold. Step back into plank. Drop to your knees. We're going to just do a gentle version here. We're not collapsing in our back. Strong arms. Spread those fingers wide. Inhale here. Exhale, lower to your belly. Let's see if we can get everything to touch at the same time. Don't collapse in your back. Keep those elbows in. Inhale, cobra. Everything's touching here except your chest. So you can have baby cobra, you can have cobra up here. And then come back onto your knees, tuck your toes, push back into down dog. Gaze at the top of your mat. Hop or walk to your hands into a half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, extend that mountain up high and hands to heart center. Inhale, extend that hands up high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, straight back. Exhale, forward fold. Step back into plank. Drop to your knees. Inhale here. Exhale, lower to your belly. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes. Push back into down dog. Gaze at the top of your mat. Hop or walk to your hands into a half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, extend that mountain up high. And hands to heart center. That was called a sun salutation. All right, so let's just get into mountain pose here. We're going to step back with our right foot. Get that right foot where that's parallel to the back of your mat. Put a lunge in this front leg. This is where I'm talking about stacking the joints, aligning the joints. The knee needs to be right over the ankle. It doesn't need to be up here like this. It puts pressure on the ligaments. So you really need to be stacking the joints here. So foot is parallel to the back of the mat. The toes pointing forward, that heel should be in line with the back foot arch into warrior two. So really lunge into this warrior two. You should feel strong. Squeezing those inner thighs together. Gazes through the front middle fingers. Good. Holding that pose. And then windmill those hands down. Take that left foot back to meet your right into down dog. Pedal it out. And gaze at the top of your mat. Hop or rock to your hands into a half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, extend those hands up high. And hands to heart center. So now we've got to do the other side. So step back with your left foot. Make that left foot parallel to the back of the mat. Toes in the front on the right foot or facing front, but that heel is in line with the arch of your back foot. Make sure you have alignment, knee right over your ankle. The knee wants a lot of times go towards your big toe. Pull it towards your pinky. Arms in a T here. Gazes over your middle fingers. Holding it here. You should feel strong in this warrior two pose. Squeezing those inner thighs. Holding it here. Continuing to breathe. And then windmill those hands down. Take that right foot back to meet your left. Pedal it out. Good. Gaze at the top of your mat. Hop or walk to your hands into a half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, extend that mountain up high. And hands to heart center. Good. So we're going to do a balance pose, just a basic balance pose. You're going to, I'll face the camera here. You're going to make your right foot the base first. So you're trying to make that base as wide as you can. So lift up those toes, spread those toes out wide, and set it down. You're going to lift up and bend that left knee. You can place your hand on your knee, your right hand on your hip, holding it here. In a pose, a balance pose, you should find your drishti, your focal point. A focal point is something that's still, that you can gaze at so you can focus on your balancing. If you're looking at someone and they are swaying, you're probably going to sway and fall. If you need a wall here, grab a wall and just practice your balancing. As we get older, our balance gets worse and worse, so we need to work on it weekly. And let's set it down. Good. Raise the toes of your left foot, make as wide a base as you can. Lift up that right leg, grab that knee, left hand on your hip. Again, find your drishti, your yoke focal point. Y'all are doing great. Find that point. I got a little wobbly. I looked out the window and the leaves are swaying. Hold that pose here. And then lower back down. Good. All right. So we're going to try to do a balance pose each time we come in. All right. Inhale, extend those hands up high. Exhale, forward fold. Step back with your right foot. We're in a big high lunge here. So if you step back like this, you're not in alignment. So step back far enough where your knee is over your ankle. This is where your blocks can come in to help bring the ground closer. You're in high lunge here. Good. Take that left foot back to meet your right. Drop to your knees, lower to your belly, into cobra. Tuck your toes, push back into down dog. Good. Inhale, lift that right leg up, step it through to your right hand, high lunge here. So when you're going from down dog, you're lifting that leg, bring that knee in, tuck that belly. You're getting a lot of core strength here. And if you stop your foot here, that's fine. Just bring it up and get it in alignment. Good. Push off your left foot to meet your right. And forward fold. Inhale, extend that hands up high and hands to heart center. Good. Inhale, extend those hands up high. Exhale, forward fold. Sit back into plank. drop to your knees. Good. Cross those ankles. And let's sit back into knees bent staff pose. So knees bent staff pose. Your knees are bent. This is staff pose. Knees bent staff pose is the same thing, but knees bent. Good. All right. Holding it here. Head over heart over pelvis. Good. You're going to take that right ankle over your left thigh for figure 4 pose, pressing forward with your fingers. My fingers are facing my heels. Pressing forward, you should be feeling it in your right hip here. Flex that right foot. Holding that pose, getting that good stretch in that right hip. The more you pull that knee away, but push yourself forward, the better stretch you'll get. And let's do the other side. Push yourself forward, pull that left knee away, flex that left foot. Good. And then take that leg down, and let's lay down. Extend those legs out long, arms behind you, one long body. Stretch. And then bring the knees into chest. Head to knee. And then lower back down. Good. One long legs. Take that right knee to right chest. Grab that shin or that knee. Flex both feet here. This is called wind relieving pose. Staying here. And then pull that knee towards that right shoulder. Keeping your left hand on your hip to keep it down on the ground for wind relieving pose. Keeping that left leg long, take that right leg across your body. Left hand's going to grab that right thigh. Right arm's in a T for a spinal twist. So my gaze is towards the right, where my right hand is. Getting a spinal twist here, feeling good to your vertebrae here. And then coming back to center. Extend that right leg out long. Bring that left knee in for wind relieving pose. Flex both feet. Now take that left knee over to the left shoulder, opening up that groin. Good. Let gravity do its work. That right hand can be on that right hip to keep it down. And then let's take that left leg across your body. Right hand's going to grab that left thigh. Left hand's in a T. My gaze is to the left for a spinal twist. My back just pops when I do this. And then bring it back to center. Good. Extend those legs off long, arms off long again for full body stretch. Point and stretch. Flex those feet, maybe circle those ankles. Good. And then bring hands down by your side, palms up. Let the feet fall when they may fall. Again, if you want a bolster under your knees or under your neck, get that. Final resting pose is just as important as the rest of the practice. This is where you get your full relaxation and you let the nutrients of the practice soak into your body. And this self-care of just doing nothing and breathing for the next 3 to 5 to 10 minutes or even longer if you want. So stay here. The video will go off, but you can just stay in this pose.